Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I am glad you're here. If you're so inclined and you get the chance, please hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification icon. It'll notify you when I release new videos. Also lets YouTube know you're a human who's interested in knife and EDC content. Allegedly helps other people discover the content. I'd really appreciate it. But today I wanted to go over and give my review of and my overview of this Kunwu Pulsar, which I've now had for a little over a month. I've done the unboxing. I did my struggle bus spring swap where I swapped from the standard springs that come with the Pulsar, the Kunwu Pulsar, along with an additional set of standard springs in case you were to break one of the sets of Axis style springs. But then they came with a heavy set that, if y'all watch the video, you can go back and watch it, that gives it really a lot more detent and a lot more oomph. But this will be the third installment of the Kunwu Pulsar, kind of my first full overviews on this knife, what I think about it, would I recommend it, do I like it, do I love it, are there issues with it that I've found, and I'll just keep it short, guys. We'll go through it, but I can tell you that what attracted me to this knife was the materials. And I originally did not set out for this diamond pattern. I set out for the give me 2 seconds. I originally set out for the orange peel, which is, it's not totally smooth. It's got an orange peel finish like my big towel and my X towel, but they were, lo and behold, they were sold out when I got there, and the only titanium version they had left was this diamond pattern titanium. All of the Pulsars, whether you do the G-Mascus, the titanium diamond pattern, or the regular orange peel titanium, ELMAX blades, the shape of the knife, the materials of the knife, the fact that it is their Axis lock, which is one of the smoothest, my dissatisfaction, not dissatisfaction, but my less than being 100% stoked on the X-Tau is I don't like the thumb studs with the springs that I think are lighter than here, but that's neither here nor there. We're talking about the Pulsar, and this is the Pulsar that does have the heavier springs that comes with it installed. Super easy install, guys. Watch my video, because at first I did not use the T6 to take these little handles, hold it upside down so it doesn't cut my hand off, but you have to take these out so you can easily remove these scales. And yeah, you can watch my video and see how to do it. I think Lefty's got some videos on it too. But the Pulsar, when I got to their website, I saw that they only had this checkered titanium, which to me looked a lot more aggressive than it is in reality, guys. In reality, when it first came in and I unboxed it, I think I even said in the video, I am so glad that they were sold out of the orange peel. As much as I like it, the texture on this knife gives just enough positive grip, especially with this deployment hole, which is why I think this knife is absolutely a home run and my favorite Kunwu to date. You can turn the video off there before I get into why, but it is that good. It's a fantastic knife, and I'll kind of detail why I think that is for me and my style of carry, right? Which is urban, EDC, but it's still using my knife to process a lot of cardboard, to cut a lot of things, whether it be a string hanging off my shirt or whether it be a vine that's growing up the porch. I mean, I'll cut all kinds of stuff. Cardboard is probably the biggest victim around my brood here. So this knife has a very deep flat grind blade. I'd say it's 3/4 full flat or 3/4 flat. And let me grab a sheet out of the PP Digest. Whoops. This is from the factory. I can't see the paper under the screen. But yeah, I was very impressed, not just with the sharpness of this knife, the consistency of the bevels, but the edge geometry I think is spot on. You know, I'd have to refer that to somebody like Brother Neves, but I think he would agree that this edge geometry is done very well. The knife, guys, to me is very understated elegant. You do have a little bit of branding, but it's nothing substantial. I call it billboarding. You've just got the blade steel, which is ELMAX right here, and you've got Pulsar, the model name there. No serial numbers. I understand that the numbers are on the back spacer. I have not investigated that because I don't care, but let's take a look. Or maybe it's on the side of the back spacer on the scale. It's allegedly serialized, but again, that's not something that's important to me. What's important to me is the ergonomics of this knife, and as you guys know, if you watch my videos, I love good usable choils, and this is a finger choil that also serves as an amazing sharpening choil. I mean, you really couldn't ask for it to be done any better unless you would rather have more blade. We'll get into how much blade do you have when we get to that point of the review, so I will not leave you hanging, I assure you. But the Kunwu Pulsar just fits my hand great. The Kunwu X Tau and the Big Tau, which I've got, are both very ergonomical knives. They're knives that I like, but I can tell you that they don't feel as organic and as evolved in my hand as the Pulsar does. And guys, I don't know the model name, but Kunwu just either launched or finished up a Kickstarter. They've got a couple of other knives. They're just really burning it up. I mean, for value per dollar, what they're doing, I have been nothing but impressed with every one of my interactions with them, which have been direct interactions with Kunwu, just like anybody else, through the website, not through the Kickstarter, buying these off their website and waiting almost a month, except for the case of this one where I only waited 2 weeks because I bought it a plane ticket for $40 for the expedited shipping, not realizing that that meant expedited once they got it out of China. It still took the slow road to get to the airport, I guess. But no harm, no foul. I got the knife. It came perfectly centered. It came with perfect action. It came just, you know, everything I expected. The clip on this is, I think, not only, let me just demonstrate this. So this was, and I know they've made other Kunwus, but this was the first Big Tau, and it's got a great clip, goes in and out of pocket, but it's just a little bit on the flimsy side. I mean, you could do cartwheels, but you couldn't do like 6 or 7 cartwheels without jarring it loose. Then the second variation came with the wire clip. I'm a huge fan of wire clips. The only drawback that I see in the wire clip is it's not titanium. It's just a minor nitpick that I have. Nothing major. Love this clip. Love this clip. Well, on the Pulsar, even though you've got this very aggressive, I say very aggressive, this textured diamond pattern, you've got this really nice titanium clip, which is a little bit wider. It does have the split tail design like the Big Tau does, but it's much beefier. So what that gives you is a lot better retention. So if I were to put this in my pocket, I don't have to do anything except slide it straight down and straight out. It does not grab. I have on jeans today. Khakis are usually smoother, so I carry this to work all the time. I've been carrying this knife extensively, and it's not just because I wanted to do a long-term review on it and tell you what I really thought about it, but it's because I bought this knife because I was excited to get it. I'd been watching it for a long time, like any knife I buy, guys. I don't know if you saw what I just took out of my pocket that I'm carrying now. It's a pyrite from Atlantic Knife Co. that has a titanium skin on it. A little bit of controversy there, but it's not really controversy. It'll just be interesting when I do my review. But it's in my pocket because I want to live with it, love it, and use it. And I'll be honest with you, even with the little weirdness that I'm dealing with, the pyrite is a fantastic knife. But again, we're not talking about the pyrite now. We're talking about the Kunwu Pulsar. You notice you've got this lanyard loop back here, which is fine. You know, it probably could have been done different ways. I'd rather have it through the back spacer than have a hole through the whole knife. And I love Brother Beard of Doom, and I know how important lanyards are to him. So I will, from this point forward, not make any negative personal opinions about lanyard holes. Because I don't use lanyards doesn't mean that people that I love and care for very much cherish them. So this is a fantastic lanyard hole. I like the way it's done in the back spacer, very secure. You've got these nice barrel screws that attach. So you've got basically 1, 2, your clip screws, 3, 4. And then when you take this knife apart, you do have to take off these studs here. But good to know, we've got T8s, T6s on the body. Shame. I'm kidding, not shame. So you've got a T8 pivot and T6s everywhere else. But I can tell you, because I've taken this knife apart to do my spring swap, the hardware is very deep. It's very well done, but there's no reason in my conscious mind why it couldn't have been T8 hardware. Please, Kunwu, please. We love T8 hardware. We can use 1 bit, to quote Jared Neves, and more importantly, we won't strip our bits out as often. So guys, this knife, it's subjective, right? If you like a big belly blade, which I do, if you like a nice drop point blade, if you like a deployment hole. Again, this being an Axis style lock, you can simply flip it out. I never deploy knives that way. Again, I don't thumb flick, but this knife is one that you see me thumb flick other knives. This is very easy. All I have to do is put positive pressure on it and it thumb flicks right out of there. I can slow roll this knife because it doesn't have a detent holding it in. And then my opening method of choice, the middle finger flick. But the way it fits my hand, and I would hope it would fit most hands very well. I mean, even if you have those big sausage finger hands, because I put my hands up alongside at Blade Show, some of the largest. Well, we've got Peter at a therapeutic edge, and his hands, this knife might be too small for him. But anyways, let's real quickly, guys, we're going to do a couple of size comparisons. 2 seconds. Sorry about that. Cold Steel 4MAX. I had to slip over and pick up the Civivi Baby Banter, which this knife might look like in Peter's hand. I'm kidding. His hands aren't that big, but he is very stately and manly. So the Pulsar is going to come in much smaller than the Cold Steel 4MAX. It's going to be larger than our Civivi Baby Banter. It is just a scotch smaller than the, or bigger than the Bug Out, and it's about a ½ inch smaller than the Paramilitary 2. But hopefully that gives you a good idea of where it falls in that size spectrum. And we'll take a couple of quick measurements using Ben Peterson's NAFCO titanium ruler that I'm starting to be able to read a little better, but I still suck. So we're going to call this, for lack of a better measurement, I'm going to say it's right over 3¼ inch blade. The cutting edge is 3 inches. The handle is 4¼ a little bit over 4¼ The widest point is coming in at right at 1 inch. Let's see if our calipers are calibrated. I'm guessing the handle thickness is going to come in right over a ½ inch, 0.53. Our blade spine thickness blade stock is 0.126. You know, guys, I can't get behind the edge measurements. I'm not good at that. I'll miss it and I'll give you bad information. But yeah, the Kunwu Pulsar. My final thoughts are, I think it's a great knife. It is, right now, my number one Kunwu. My number two Kunwu is the Big Tau with the frame lock. And my number three, not far behind it, is my X Tau with the same locking system that the Pulsar has. The Pulsar is a little smaller knife, which suits me better than both of these larger knives. And the silver bullet for me is this very well done deployment hole. What I mean by that, when I say well done, I'll just expand on that just a hair. You know, I like the pear-shaped holes, and I don't really prefer the huge holes that allow me to do the hot dog down the hallway, as I call it, where I go to flick it and my finger comes through the hole. I don't even see a knife around me. I don't even think I can do it with my pair. You can kind of do it with a pair too. If you're an absolute just clumsy clums, you could do it with a pair too. It's almost impossible, but the hole is big enough. You see what I mean? The Pulsar is done with what I consider kind of a double pair. So nowhere can I get my whole finger in there. So I've got positive traction right there. I've got positive traction if I want to flick it up. I've got positive traction if I want to come lower, even though that flick did not speak to that. So this knife is really tuned to flick up. Take your power, build it, and pop it up. You can pop it out, but I think it likes to go up. Anyway, it's very hard to fail, and these are the tighter springs. So if you keep the springs that come in, yes, it will fly out easier, but you can also, if you give it a super hard shaking, you can shake it out, which you can't with the upgraded springs that come with it, and you don't get that snapback. I mean, this knife closes with very little bounce. See how it sucks it in? But guys, that is the Kunwu Pulsar, and that is my long-term overview review. I've cut some shit with it. It cuts very well. Y'all saw it on paper, and it hasn't touched a strop or it hasn't touched a stone. It will, but not anytime in the next month or so. I'm going to continue to carry it and use it because I really do love this knife. It'll be a knife that'll stay in my collection because I got it for that reason. It's lived up to, and I will say with the handles, me being a little bit hesitant after I ordered it, wanting them to be like this knife has exceeded my expectations. The scale swap, or not the scale swap, the spring swap almost turned out tragic. Go back and watch that video. I might even link it somewhere over here when I upload this, but it was tragedy narrowly averted. It went off without a hitch. It's some good information, and when you see how well that axis spring system is engineered within this scale, between the scale and the liner to kind of keep it all captivated, it's really done smartly, guys. So I give it 2 thumbs up, seal of approval. I have no affiliation with Kunwu. I will put a link in the description listing out the specs of the knife. They'll probably be different than what I read because I did qualify that I'm getting better at reading the ruler. I don't read it perfectly. But guys, thank you for stopping by the channel again. Thank you if it's your first time by, and welcome. Feel free to subscribe if you're so inclined. Hit the bell notification icon if you'd like to be notified of new videos. Thumbs up or thumbs down if you feel like you need to give your opinion there. I'd love to have it. And if you have comments, suggestions on what you'd like to see, suggestions about your experience with Kunwu or the Kunwu knives, I'm all ears, guys. And I'm definitely open to learn how other people are interfacing with the companies that I find favorable. I want to make sure it's consistent across the board. But guys, please look out for the guy or girl to your left. Please look out for the guy or girl to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate over hate. I love you all. Peace.